Let's talk some toys in here. Hey, how's everybody doing today? It's the Man-Child. Alright, so today for a review, going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins NIGHT STALKER vehicle or mechanical horse. That was part of the Mattel Creations exclusive sale. It just went off a couple days ago and everybody got mine in the mail. Here it is. Unbelievable. So yeah, now we have NIGHT STALKER to add to the line. Another very popular vintage-inspired vehicle to add to our collection, and that's the whole point why a lot of us started collecting the Origins. Yeah, and Strider came out a long time ago. I mean, I think almost a couple years ago. I remember reviewing them and, you know, thinking NIGHT STALKER was around the corner. And 2 years later, I just gave up. I didn't think they were coming out with them, but here he is. Looking great. So yeah, now I'm going to add him to my collection up against Strider. Now, from what you can see from the art, and I've seen from later images, they did correct the coloring on this. From what they showed at the San Diego Comic-Con version back almost a year ago already, it was very yellow. Now it looks like it's gold like the vintage one was, so I'm happy to see that. Once we get out of package, we'll check it out. But anyway, yeah, here he is. Look at that art. We have Battle Armor Skeletor now, riding NIGHT STALKER. Battle Armor He-Man off here to the right, getting ready to go hand in hand, or yeah, axe to face. That's the NIGHT STALKER. Pretty neat. We got Mechaneck over here in the background. You got the Snake Mountain, Lightning, Cosmos, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Really awesome piece of art for the front of the box. Okay, so I just rolled the box down on its side. Here's a quick look at the art on the very top of the box. So yeah, we have the Master Universe logo, NIGHT STALKER, Evil Armor Battle Steed. Okay, we have a Screech over here, some Cosmic Storms or maybe energy effects from Skeletor, which I don't even see his staff in his hand. Looks like he has a power sword and the control cables for NIGHT STALKER. And I think what's interesting is they show him coming out of that passage for Snake Mountain with the roots and stuff, which, yeah, this would not fit in that Origins version. A little later on, I'll compare it. I have my Origins version, the Snake Mountain off to the side, and I'll put the horse up against it for, you know, comparison scale, but it's not going to work. It is cool to see that, though, or the idea of it, and as far as the art. And now, here's a quick look with the art on the back of the box. Man, that art is, like, incredible. Unbelievable. Again, it's just, you know, NIGHT STALKER with the Battle Armor Skeletor in him. Now he's raising his purple sword and he's getting some energy, or like calling upon power or something. Snake Mountain, very similar to Castle Grayskull and He-Man's power sword, I guess. Got some little minions flying around, dragons, and again, look at that Snake Mountain on the backdrop going up with all the cosmic storms and lightning and everything going on. Looks like got some planets in the background. That is so cool looking. And then as far as the art on the side of the box, looking in from the main art, it's just, yeah, Image of Zord. There's nothing else. And if you spin it around with the other side, it's just, yeah, cosmos and clouds and stuff like that. There's nothing special. All right, so here's what they expect. Taking NIGHT STALKER out of the box. I just cut a piece of tape, flipped the lid open, slid this whole inner cardboard piece right out. So to give people an idea of, like, mint-on-card collectors who want to take them out and mess around with them, could you put him back? Yeah, he's pretty much just supported on a cardboard with them rubber bands that go around the feet and then this big band in the back. So, yeah, I guess once you cut these, you're going to pull them out. And if you want to put them back, you can put some kind of those plastic wraps to secure them. And then you can see there's plastic, like bubble, you know, the bubble wrap stuff in the back. You can see his fire effects, the main helmet, the guns, and all that good stuff. And then, of course, the Snake Mountain base in the very back, which I'm going to take all this out in a minute. But I want to point out, too. So, yeah, look at the gold colors. Very similar to the vintage one from what I remember. Looks great. Even has the different stickers on. The couple different helmets. And, of course, colored. Completely different from Strider, which we'll compare. But, yeah, it came out really cool so far. All right, so here's a look with NIGHT STALKER and all his accessories out of that bubble card packing. Now, yeah, I did ruin this in this plastic bubble, and I ripped the cardboard. Not that I was going to put anything back. It's kind of a nuisance to take out, but, yeah, I rushed it. Anyway, so, yeah, he looks side to colors and the stickers. It's basically Strider, right? To be fair, exactly what the vintage figure the horses were. No different. He comes with the same type of control rope and grip. Same guns, side, different color. Same two helmets that Strider came with. I forgot he came with this one because I put it away. Again, in purple instead of the orange color, which I'll bring in Strider later and compare it, as I mentioned. You get the same fire effects, but these are cast in translucent red instead of the blue. And then you get a new base that it's going to go against your snake mount. So that's pretty cool. That's different. But everything else, aside the colors and things I showed, are pretty much the same as Stridor if you're not familiar. So moving on, take a closer look at Night Stalker and his articulation, colors, and whatnot. Again, whether you're familiar or not, it's just identical to Stridor. So as far as the head, so it comes with the vintage-inspired helmet. Once again, with his cast in purple. So you kind of see the overall design on that. Then I remove that. So it's going to pop right off these two ears up top. So yeah, look at the face, pretty cool. Again, all the gold casting, I like the way it come out. A lot better than the San Diego Comic-Con version. As far as the articulation, with this Night Stalker, you can go all the way up, down, rotate, rock side to side, spin the head, left to right. It goes a control grip. The mouth does articulate, opens all the way, right, and closes like on a hinge. So this control grip piece, which, yeah, it's a neat idea. I didn't need it, but it's cool you added that. Go in the mouth like that if you're not familiar. So this little rope piece, yeah, see, it's just a string, has like these control grips that the pilot will use, and it can slide back and forth in this piece, go left to right, adjust to the hands. So yeah, I like this design too on Night Stalker and Stridor with this neck piece. So you only got pretty much just 3 points of articulation. You got the head, you got this, you know, the middle piece of the neck, and then the lower piece. And all of these spin, as I already mentioned. That piece too spins all around. Okay, and this is cast in black. All right, close look at the head. Now, moving on. So, yeah, he has the different stickers are different Stridor, which is cool. Very reminiscent of the vintage Night Stalker, which I don't have one anymore. But from what I remember, you got the vent stickers, right, like in-tank vents or something like that on the front, on the very bottom, which is already assembled on this, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and again, I really like the gold colorway that come out casting. Thank God for that, because I didn't like that yellow look going back to the San Diego Comic-Con version. Spinning around, you got some more vents on the sides here. You even got a control panel with like a monitor for targeting, stuff like that. For the blasters, I guess. Buttons, so it's a sticker already in there. All right, you got your seat. It's cast in purple. So, see, going back to the legs here, right? Most important part. Which is awesome with these horses when you go back to the vintage, because I always hated that the vintage one was like pre-posed or something like that. And you know, here you were as a kid doing it. I never liked that. I'm so glad that the Origins just remastered this with full articulation, and they're even a little bigger too than the vintage ones, and of course better detailed in the head, the whole deal. Yeah, much better design. As far as the legs or the front legs, so you can just go all the way up to the face, go all the way back. Then you have this piece, the lower part of the ankle or leg, that can go all the way back as well and go all the way forward. And then you got the big foot shoe, hoof, steel reinforced hoof that can go up and down. Yeah, nothing rocks side to side. The other sides are all the same. Okay, you even have some piston sculpt on the side there, whatnot. Now going to the back leg, if you're not familiar, so it's going to be a longer leg. But same type of sculpting design. Well, actually the internal, okay, the pistons are a little different than the front, a little bit. But articulation with that too, and that one clicks. So it locks in place, which is good for when he looks like he's going to gallop and stuff. You can put him on a base, which we'll do in a little bit. And that can go, let's see, all the way, okay, forward. All right, that's tight back. The leg too can hinge all the way forward like that. This also has like a ratchet joint there. Back. And same thing with this back hoof, and go up and down all the way. And the other legs are all the same. Yeah, it was a while since I reviewed Stridor. It's a similar horse. I don't remember. But anyway, so moving back, then he has a typical rear blaster, which goes left to right, articulates like that, right? So that's pretty cool. It doesn't go up and down. And then you have the tail in the back, cast in purple on that too. It can spin side to side, and you can rotate it all around. But it's for the most part, it's kind of it's soft where it rotates. It's not supposed to. It's just supposed to rotate left to right. Like that, and you can hear a click in here. It's like on a little peg. All right, and here's the back of them. More vents. I guess vents for them. You can see just the circuitry, the extra armor. All right, here's the other side. The stickers are all the same. So, moving forward with Night Stalker's other weapons and accessories. So, of course, he comes with that secondary helmet. And I think this was inspired from the classics Night Stalker, I want to say. I think that's where the design came from. And I'm probably going to equip this Night Stalker with this, just so it's different from Stridor. So we'll put this on soon. And then, of course, he comes with those additional blasters for the left and right front side. So let's put them on. And now, taking a look at the head once again, I just put them control grips back in. I'm going to keep them in. I'll put this alternative helmet on. And then I'm going to put the forward blasters on, so the shorter end with the peg is going to push into this hole. It doesn't matter what's left or right, but they just push in like that. And then flipping them around the same with the other side again. It doesn't matter which blaster you put on, as long as you use those pegs like I'm showing. And now, just look at that setup. I mean, that's pretty much it. So you want to change the other helmet back. So we just have the two guns on. Again, I'm going to keep control grip in the mouth for now. We got that alternative mask or helmet on. Take a look at that. Pretty cool. Yeah, and then, you know, guns can just go up and down as far as articulation. Same thing with the other one. And now, here's a quick look at those additional blast effects they include. Again, just a red translucent color. The same exact sculpts or design like Stridor, but yeah, as I already mentioned, red. Okay, so I'll put one on the right side of the gun, looking from the cockpit. So, and you can turn it around and adjust it, and it seems to hold pretty well. Now, some of these are warped. They kind of look wonky, you know, which way the blaster's going. So you got to kind of mess around with them how you want them. And again, the guns can only go up and down. And then I'll put the second blast effect on the other gun, like so. And then here's the last one on the rear gun. Just push it all the way up. Mess around with it like this. And there's a look at that setup. That's it. It's all three blasters on the horse. If you didn't have Stridor before, haven't equipped Stridor with all of them, which, yeah, I don't usually put all three of them on. I don't usually put the rear blaster on. I think it's too much. I like the front ones on. So if we just take this one off, you know, and leave the two facing forward. I like setting my horse up like that. Probably going to do the same with Night Stalker. So moving on once again, of course, for your final piece, you get a new base or stand that's going to match the Origins Snake Mountain. So that's pretty cool, you know. It's kind of a one-time assembly thing in the box. So you're just going to put this little barrier on here. You're just going to snap it right in. It's got some, yeah, the moss like Snake Mountain does. So you got to kind of, I'm doing this wrong. Okay, there it is. I am. It has like, it's like a T-peg. It's going to snap in like this, right? That's pretty tight. And then you'll have your display piece, right, or your flight stand, or you want to call it. That's just going to snap in like so. And I think you want the curve facing forward to this barrier. And then here's a closer look at that stand with everything on. So yeah, we would put our flight stand on, right? You can see how this peg articulates. It's kind of tight. There we go, like that. It's going to peg onto the bottom of Night Stalker, which we'll do soon. Right, here's that little fence piece I clicked in. See that? You can see all the extra details, like the roots and vines, part of Snake Mountain rocks and stuff. So that's some pretty cool sculpting. And of course, you get this little piece over here as well, which is already on. And the next thing, of course, with the base set up, right, we'll take Night Stalker and get this flight stand or this big peg, and got to move his front legs out of the way and just snap. Let me see. All right, and we'll snap that into the bottom like so. And there you go. That's pretty much it. Exactly like Stridor. Very similar. So yeah, you got him on that base there. You can see how it holds him up. Get ready to do a gallop, where he's like he's going to jump over this fence piece. So, you know, you position the legs the way you want them. You can have him kicking forward. You can even have him resting on this piece. You can articulate this in the back, make him look like you stand on or up in the air more. Of course, you'll adjust the back legs. And this piece can spin as well if you don't want him facing that way. And you can probably turn the stand around and make it look the other way if you want to. Of course, I think it's designed to go forward and make him look like he's balancing that way. And I even position all the legs up in the air like he's in a mid-jump, getting ready to go over this piece. Or you can even remove this if you want it to. It does come out. It's a little difficult once you pop it in, but if you just want to use the base without this, have him like he's jumping in the air, articulate him as such, you can do that. Okay, so moving forward with the comparison between Stridor and Night Stalker, and of course we'll put some figures in it soon. So there's those two together. So yeah, I already had Stridor set up with his vintage Aspire headgear. I took the blasters off, the base away for now. These are those hand grip controls, are identical. I just took, again, I'm just going to remove them because I'm trying to stick to how the vintage inspired idea of both of these horses. So right, there's Night Stalker. Put his headgear back on, took him off the base at the moment. So, you know, again, it's like, yeah, identical, right? Everything, the guns, the side, the stickers are different, the colors, of course, but the articulation, the size, the design, everything is all the same. Again, for people who aren't familiar, maybe you are or not, but I wanted to show what they look like, and side by side. Yeah, it's pretty cool seeing them both. And then once again, here's Stridor's alternative headgear, right, compared to Night Stalker's. Same thing, just different colors. And once again, with the same setup, now I just put these control grips in their mouth, and yeah, they go back to the seating area, the cockpit, but they're just going to hang for now. I put one of each blaster on each gun. It's on the right side for now. So once again, here's Strider's is blue, right? Night Stalker's is red. And of course, here's a closer look at the two side by side. So again, everything's the same aside the color. And then once again, jumping back to the base for Night Stalker, I want to compare and bring in the base for Strider without the horses on, obviously, just give you a better look. So that's those two together, and of course, this is designed to go up against your Origins Snake Mountain. This is designed for your Origins Castle Grayskull, or Classics if you want. So those two together, and you just see the angles, the flight stands, I'm going to call them, the different benches, or the fencing they use for each one, if you're not familiar. Right, so we'll bring Night Stalker in once again. I have him all set up in his vintage attire with just the regular headgear, guns, no blasters, no mouth control wires. Put good old Jitsu in, just like we did, or I did as kids. That's where I grew up. That was popular. And I think, I want to say that was like, Night Stalker was advertised along with Strider in like the JCPenney's catalog or something like that. And it had Jitsu in Night Stalker and Fisto in Strider. I think that's where that idea kind of came from. Maybe some art. But anyway, going back a little old school. Jitsu sitting in Night Stalker. And yeah, had the sword in hand, the glove on the other. And of course, now I had to bring Strider all back in, just with his regular headgear, guns, no blasters, no mouth control piece. Going back to that vintage nostalgia a lot of us grew up with, threw Fisto in, fighting head-to-head with Jitsu and Night Stalker. So if anybody wants to get this horse and you have Strider and, complete that type of setup, going back to kids, there you go. Looks pretty cool. And, yeah, I guess they had foot pedals then. They didn't have the hand controls. But, yeah, it's awesome seeing these two together. Feel like a kid again. Okay, so the next thing I did was just modernize the two horses a little bit, right? We have the alternative headgear on both, Strider or Night Stalker. We still have Jitsu and Fisto in both horses. I have the blasters on still, and of course the bases. I left the mouthpiece out, the control grips. It doesn't make sense with these characters that have a mechanical hand on each side and a weapon in one. Again, as kids, we didn't use them. We're familiar how they go in if you want to. But just a quick look at that setup. But I'm going to leave the plasma blast off the back of the guns. It doesn't make sense to me. Again, like these control grips, not something I normally use. Of course, the other thing I want to do, going back to the art on the front of the box, I want to put Battle Armor Skeletor in here and take Jitsu out. Which I actually think I'm going to keep my Battle Armor Skeletor in this Night Stalker. So once again, I took the blasters out. On the cover, he had this alternative helmet on. He's up in the air. He did have these control grips in. Skeletor had a full power sword. So let's just put Skeletor in here like so. And now there's a quick look at that setup. We have our Battle Armor Skeletor, Night Stalker on the base, raised in the air just like the art showed, full power sword. And he did have a control grip, if you go back to the art, on the left hand holding it. So yeah, I guess you can control either side or hold one. Maybe it has a combination of foot pedals and who knows what. But it does look cool. I'm definitely going to keep my Skeletor in this to mimic that art. And once again, here's a quick look at that art, just familiarize everybody with it. So yeah, we have Battle Armor Skeletor, the sword up in hand with the lightning snake mat in the background. And you can see how he's holding the one control grip in the left hand, just like I do with my figure. And the very last thing I wanted to do for fun, scale, comparison, is of course bring the Origins Snake Mountain out, put it in the background, and move some stuff around real quick. We have our Night Stalker with the base that's designed to go with the Snake Mountain in front of it, obviously. Yeah, so you get an idea to scale, what that base is doing. So it sort of matches the Snake Mountain. It is more glossier with the Snake Mountain. It's like very flat in colors, but it works. It doesn't attach to Snake Mountain anyway. So I'm just putting it out in front, going back to the art. So let me just raise the camera up. Yeah, it's distraction. I got my collection of background of various stuff. But the other thing I wanted to do too, going back to like the box art, is like, yeah, where Night Stalker was jumping out of that opening there with the roots. It's something like that. I mean, yeah, if you want to set him up like that, like he's coming out here, you can, but it's not, he's too tall. Even if you take him off the base, it's not gonna, it doesn't scale properly. Use your imagination. It is fun though. But anyway, I want to set them up, put everything together, and yeah, there we go. It's Night Stalker with Battle Armor Skeletor in front of Snake Mountain. I took the drawbridge off the front of it too. Alright, so that's my overall review on the new Masters Universe Origins Night Stalker mechanical horse or vehicle. Yeah, it's, I've been waiting for this for a long time to go with Strider. Again, just basically a Strider repaint. Be fair, going exactly what the Vintage did, but much more better articulation, has different stickers, the colors, all that stuff, as I already said a few times. You get the dual headgear, just like Strider once again, but molded in purple. Yeah, I'm going to leave mine set up more like the classics with this, just to give it something different. My Strider is set up more vintage inspired. But I do like the base, so you get a completely different base to kind of go with your Snake Mountain. You know, you get the same fire effects and stuff, which aren't exactly practical when it's up in the air like that, but I leave them on. It's fun. You get the control grips. Again, you can use these or not. I'm going to, yeah, leave one hanging, one in my Battle Armor Skeletor's hand with the full power sword. I'm going to leave Skeletor in it, just like the art. It's different in Jitsu. I like it. And the biggest thing, too, is I love the colors. You know, again, going back to the San Diego Comic-Con, it's very yellowish. Maybe that was an early model or something like that. But no, this is a dark, deep gold under my light. It's perfect. It's great. Yeah, I love everything about it. It's what I expected and even better. And Mattel Creations are, I got mine early. I don't know why. Regular shipping. I'm on the East Coast, and I noticed the warehouse wasn't far from me. It was a couple states away. So maybe that's why I got it. But yeah, they should be shipping out now. Just keep an open eye. I guess it depends on what orders came in first and how they're shipping things out. You know, and there's a bad heat wave in the country, and mail is slow now, and it just depends. But he's coming. I think it's awesome. So happy to have Night Stalker. So I appreciate everybody watching. I hope you get yours soon if you ordered them. And until next time, take care.